Hello everyone. I'm putting out this video in hopes that I don't lose any subscribers, because this is another one about an aspect of women's rights. And if you've been here for a while, you kind of know when I put out videos like this, I usually go down by about 5. So if this is not something that you want to hear, just don't unsub, please. Just kind of skip over it. But I was actually in a conversation about this a couple weeks ago. Somebody that came into where I work, and he was talking about how he didn't want to marry the woman that his family wanted him to marry, because he didn't agree with the procedures and stuff that had been done to that woman when she was a child. And he was young. He's maybe 22, 23. I don't exactly know how old she is. But this is a video about a violation of human rights for FGM, which is female genitalia mutilation. So I will put in a trigger warning, although there is nothing that is graphic in what I'm going to say. But the United Nations has estimated that nearly 200 million women and girls from around the world have had FGM, with 80% of the cases happening in Africa. That is 25 times the population of Switzerland. The United Nations has designated February 6th as the International Zero Tolerance Day for FGM. This procedure comes from unclear origins. It predates Christianity and Islam. It is said that some Egyptian mummies displayed characteristics of FGM. Historians such as Herodotus claim that in the 5th century BC, the Phoenicians, the don't know that word, and the Ethiopians practiced circumcision. It is also reported that circumcision rites were practiced in tropical zones of Africa, in the Philippines by certain tribes, in Upper Amazon by women of the Arunta tribe, Australia, and by certain early Romans and Arabs. As recently as the 1950s, clitoridectomy was practiced in Western Europe and United States to treat perceived ailments including hysteria, epilepsy, mental disorders, masturbation, nymphomania, and melancholy. In other words, the practice of FGM has been followed by many different people and societies across the ages and across the globe. FGM, or female genitalia cutting, or female circumcision, however you want to call it, is a very painful procedure that has a lifelong physical and psychological effect. About 44 million victims are aged 15 and under. FGM in many places is simply seen as the norm, and when it comes to banning it, many factors are at play. Culture seems to be the biggest argument to keep FGM from being banned in all areas of the world. Ethnicity is the most significant factor that cuts across the line of education, socioeconomic, and even religious backgrounds. The reason given for the practice falls into 5 categories. 1. Psychosexual reasons. It is aimed at controlling a woman's sexuality and to ensure virginity at the time of marriage and fidelity afterwards. However, they say it is to increase the male's sexual pleasure. 2. Sociological and cultural reasons. FGM is seen as part of the girl's initiation into womanhood and as part of the community's cultural heritage. They like to throw in the myths about the clitoris reaching the size of a man's penis, if not uncut, or that FGM will enhance fertility or promote child survival. 3. Hygiene and aesthetic reasons. In some communities, the external genitalia are considered dirty and ugly and need to be removed. They say it is to promote hygiene and give it a better appeal. 4. Religious reasons. Although FGM is not endorsed by either Islam or Christianity, supposed religious doctrine is often used to justify its practice. 5. Socioeconomic factors. Many communities have FGM as a prerequisite for marriage. Women are largely dependent on men. Economic necessity can be a major driver of the procedure. Now, if you're like me, you can just sit here and say that all 5 of those are ridiculous reasons, but, I mean, I guess it is what they really believe. FGM sometimes is a prerequisite to the right to inherit, and it may also be a major income source for the practitioners. FGM is considered to be part of the gender inequality in every society that it is practiced in. FGM is supported by both men and women, usually without any questions, and anyone that does not follow the so-called norm may face condemnation, harassment, or ostracism. It may be very hard for some families to abandon the practice without the support of a broader community. The perceived social benefit is deemed higher than the disadvantages. FGM is usually carried out by the elderly people in the community. Usually, but not exclusively, women designated to perform this task or by traditional birth attendants. Among certain populations, FGM is carried out by traditional healthcare practitioners, male barbers, members of secret societies, and herbalists. Sometimes, even a random female relative is given the so-called honor of doing the procedure. The tools that are used for the procedure vary from place to place and community to community. But the basics are scissors, scalpel, razor blades, knives, and even pieces of glass. There is usually no anesthetics or antiseptics used unless the procedure is carried out by a medical practitioner. In communities where infibulations are practiced, girls' legs are often bound together to immobilize them for 10 to 14 days, allowing the formation of scar tissue. In some cases, medical professionals perform FGM and is simply referred to as medicalization of FGM. According to the UNFPA's estimates, around 1 in 4 girls and women between the ages of 15 and 49 who have undergone the procedure were cut by health professionals. That is 52 million women and girls. In some countries, this can reach as high as 3 in 4 girls. The proportion is twice as high among adolescents, 34% among those aged 13 to 19 compared to older women, 16% among those between 45 and 49 years of age. According to the estimates from the demographics and health surveys and multiple indicator cluster surveys, countries where the majority of FGM cases are performed by healthcare workers are Sudan, 67%, Egypt, 38%, Kenya, Nigeria, and Guinea are at 15%. FGM is currently documented in 92 countries and the world through nationally represented data. Indirect estimates small-scale studies, and evidence and media reports. This highlights the need for a global and comprehensive response in order to eliminate it. In Africa, FGM is known to be practiced among certain communities in 33 countries: Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central Africa Republic, Chad, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Africa, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and a few others I won't even try to pronounce out of respect. Certain ethnic groups in Asian countries practice FGM, including the communities of India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Maldives, and Pakistan and Sri Lanka. In the Middle East, the practice occurs in Oman, the United Arab Emirates, and Yemen, as well as Iraq, Iran, Jordan, and the state of Palestine. In Eastern Europe, recent info shows that certain communities are practicing FGM in Georgia and Russian Federation. In South America, certain communities are known to practice FGM in Colombia, Ecuador, Panama, and Peru. In many Western countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United States, the United Kingdom, and various European countries, FGM is practiced among populations from areas where the practice is common. In many Western countries, including... Oh, I already read that part. Okay, skip over. Today, a large number of countries have outlawed the practice, and the increasing number of communities have committed to abandon it, and indicating that the social and cultural perceptions of the practice are being challenged by communities themselves, along with national, regional, and international decision makers. It is time to accelerate the momentum towards full abandonment of this practice by emphasizing the human rights aspect of the issue. A child who is faced with or worried about FGM might not realize what is happening is wrong. They may blame themselves. If a child talks to you about FGM, it is important to 1. Listen carefully. 2. Let them know they have done right by telling you. 3. Tell them it is not their fault. 4. Say you will take it serious. 5. Do not confront the alleged abuser. 6. Explain what you will do next. 7. Report the child abuse as soon as possible. In the UK, you can report this to Help the Children and Young People's Childline at 0800-1111, or you can email help@nspcc.org.uk, or you can call 0808-800-5000. There is a Welsh government campaign called Voices Over Silence. That's very easily Googleable, and they have a lot of information up about that. In Egypt, you can call 1600 or 16021 for family counseling, or report the crime that is punishable for up to 7 years imprisonment and up to 15 years if the girl dies. USA and Canada tip line 1-800-347-2423, or you can email hrv.ice@ice.dhs.gov, or the National Child Abuse Helpline at 1-800-4-A-CHILD. For Africa, you can visit the website located at equalitynow.org to access the toolkit along with other information about FGM. For Mexico, you can look up the Orchid Project at www.orchidproject.org/about-FGC /where-does-FGC-HAPPEN/Mexico/ If you have any requests for information in your country that is not stated above, state, county, or anything that you need more information about, you can email me at truth.honesty.transparency@gmail.com, and I will send the info to you directly and add the other resources or hotlines that I come across to the comments below. Have a good night, everybody.